Ladies and gentlemen, I am on cloud nine. This here is the left-handed Vero engineering Axon. And I could not be more excited to own this knife right now. It is a beautiful design. It is very well made by Bestech. I am more and more impressed with Bestech as time goes on this year. I started this year by not being very excited about them, avoiding knives that were OEM'd by them, except for Vero, really. And the longer this year goes on, the more impressed I am with them. The Vero knives have always been high quality. There's been some, things that have been a little off on them, in terms of detent and slight lock rock on a lot of the other models, the frame lock models. Now, some of those things are design. The clip has always been an issue with Vero. I'm not sure. We've gotten an update to where this ramp is now a plateau and you have no hotspot. Now that I'm holding this knife in the proper hand, right? When I had one that was right-handed earlier this year, I never had the hotspot issue because I was left-handed and the clip was over here. So you righties felt it, but now it's in the appropriate handedness, and that clip is fantastic in hand. I feel nothing. So I'm glad that got updated before this came out. This does have all the updates that the Gen 2 or Run 2 or whatever Axons have. I feel like it's a little thicker in the scales than the previous model. The clearance is still sort of an issue on this knife, on the clip. I don't know if it's just that Joseph prefers to have a stiff clip. Like, he wants to make sure that knife is not going anywhere. Even, like, if you put this in your pocket, which I will say this one is better, and I think it's partially because I got the end-cut carbon fiber, which is partially why I got the end-cut carbon fiber, along with wanting to try it for the first time on a Vero. I think the only other knife I've seen with it was the Tuya NB3, and that was like a red end-cut. So that was one reason I went with this, because I figured if it still had the clearance issue, it'd be easier to get in and out on this material, and it is. It does go in pocket and out of pocket one-handed, but it is still stiff. So I don't know if Joseph just wears super thin pants, maybe doesn't use a clip, I don't know. Or lastly, he goes to amusement parks all the time. And that's my theory on it. I think that Joseph Vero has a season pass to Busch Gardens in Tampa, and he makes his clips like this so that when he's on the Anaconda ride or on the Gravity Machine or the Towering Inferno, that his knives will not come out of his pocket because he doesn't want to lose one. So that's my theory. Joseph Vero is an amusement park buff, and that's why the clips are the way they are. That was a joke, but all joking aside, it does work, okay? It's still a little bit of an issue on the clearance, but it works. So I'm not really going to ding it here. I think it's going to break in the more I use it as well. So I'm good with the clip. All right. So this here is the marbled end cut, or not marbled, I think it's just end cut. I think he said marbled once, so I'm saying that. It does kind of look marbled though, so it might be end cut marbled carbon fiber. I cannot be sure. What is that? It's just like a hair. Okay. And then it is PVD coated everything else, right? Hardware, clip, and blade. It is M390 steel. This gorgeous sheepsfoot blade. I've always been impressed with the look of this knife. Wait, I should take that back. Wow, I really need to take that back. I'm sorry. When this knife first launched, I think it was like the end of last year, my buddy Jake, Bearded Gear, pre-ordered one, and he was so excited about it. And I remember saying, what the hell do you want with that fugly-ass knife? I swear to God, I called it fugly as shit. I made jokes, and then when it came out and he had one in hand and was talking about how nice it was, I had to have one. And then I got one, and I absolutely love the aesthetics of this knife. How funny is that, how things change? I totally forgot that I used to call it fugly. But it's gorgeous to me now anyway. It just has this kind of pelican look to it. It's the best way for me to explain it. A pelican. It has some reach. I mean, it just feels like a big knife, right? But I don't even think it's that big. Let's find out. Here is the Evo 2.0. 3.5-inch blade on that guy. So, very similar in size. Chavez 229 Redencio. Notice how I have to put these with the lock side up. 3.6-inch blade on that, so a little bit bigger. So I think we're looking at a 3.5-inch blade, right? And then what does that equate to? I don't know, 4.5 on the handle. So it's a very good size knife. Here is a para 3. Paramilitary 3, whatever you want to call it. Definitely a little bit smaller than that. ProTech Malibu. ProTech Malibu. There you go. A little bit bigger than that. 3.3 inches on this blade. So yeah, 3.5 we'll call it on the blade. Put these away. All right. And then it is a liner lock. Left-hand liner lock. You can see the lockup is fantastic. Is there any lock stick? Nope. Just slides over and watch this. Oh my goodness. The action is insane. There's no way I'm taking this apart. I have done an Axon disassembly in the past where I added skiff bearings and everything. I don't know if it made enough of a difference for me to do it again. And look at this. I just feel silly taking it apart. Right now it is together and the pivot is not walking in any way, which is one of the things that tends to happen with the Bestech knives and Vero designs is they tend to have the pivot walk. You have to Loctite them. This has not done that, and I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want to have to wait a day and a half while this sits and cures, right? Centering, dead nuts. And, yeah, it's just gorgeous. It really is. This is the first batch that Joseph got in of the Lefties. And he only got DLC. So he only had DLC with N-Cut and DLC with Red G10. And I wasn't going to wait since I got lucky and I was able to get one a little early. Being left-handed and, you know, one of the people in the community that... you know, clearly is open. I'm an open lefty. So I got to get one a little bit early. I apologize to everybody who hates me for that. But this was my only option, or Red G10 and DLC, and obviously I went with this, or it was going to be waiting, and that wasn't going to happen. So, yeah. So I got this, and you know what? I am so glad I went with Murdered Out, Chaw, because I've never done that before. I usually always go with satin, right? And I like my Carta, but I like to try things sometimes, and I'm very glad I did. I might start doing some more Murdered Out stuff. It depends on the design too. This just kind of works, you know, with it. It looks gorgeous. All right, ergos. Just like the right-handed one, I guess I should kind of be quick because I've done this before. It just feels really good in hand. I will say it feels a little bit thicker, and I think that was part of the updates, but I can't be certain. I should just ask, but I haven't. If you hold it back here, it feels very comfortable. You can use this jimping right here from the front flipper, and you have extended reach with this blade, right? but I tend to hold it up here on the flat choil, that I like to call it. Most of his knives have a flipper tab, and then they kind of end up being flat like this, and it's just basically a flat choil. This one does not have a flipper tab, yet it still does that. Not quite sure how that works, but let me see. What is lining up? Well, I guess it would be that, right? Right there, that 470. Oh yeah, idiot. Duh. Alright, so yeah, that 470 is what's lining up. And I guess normally that would be a flipper tab sticking out a little bit, right? Yeah. So ergos are fantastic. Let's check the edge. I don't think I've cut anything with this yet. Just been flipping the shit out of it the last 24 hours. Oops, that was me. Yeah. Very, very good, guys. I will say DLC is kind of tough to keep clean. It seems like it always has some white specks on it and oil and stuff. Kind of fingerprints just like satin. So that's something to keep in mind. Look at the action on this thing. So let's talk about that, and then I will wrap this up. So the detent. I feel like it got strengthened just a touch from the first run, because I had a first run righty Axon. See there? It sucks it in. Pretty good. You can shake it out, but you saw that. I had to give it a good shake. If I do just normal shaking stuff, it's not coming out. When I flick it, pressure, it does lock up. So it does kind of pass the pressure test. And if you give it any gas, it flies out. So I actually think the detent on this is dialed very well. Could it be stronger? Yeah, it could be stronger. But I think Joseph seems to like a little bit of a lighter detent for whatever personal reason. I don't know. But it's fine. It works great on this knife. The thumb flick is a little less satisfying because you can get caught and then kind of like just leak it out sometimes. But if you kind of just give it a flick, you're good to go. You know, I enjoy doing that every once in a while. It's not very often. And then you have this front flipper right there. I do think one of the changes was possibly extending that a little bit. I can't be sure. I don't have the other one in front of me. But I feel like I get a little bit of a better grip on it. The Axon is designed to be a front flipper, so there's that. But yeah, closing action, exceptional. So that's it, guys. Big thank you to Joseph. Thank you to guys for listening to me rant and rave as usual. I love you all. I hope you have a fantastic day. I will update you when these are dropping. If I can, of course. There is a newsletter you can sign up for on the Vero Engineering website, which will be linked below. I suggest if you're left-handed and you want one, that you sign up for that newsletter. He will send out a notice and tell you when the drop is. There are, it seems, at least 500 of these, maybe more. I can't be certain of that, but that would be my guess, because they are going to be made in all the different variants that his other ones are made, that the righties are made, so he has to order a minimum of each. So I'm guessing there's probably 500-600. I plan, if possible, to get another one with the satin blade, of course. It's a very special knife to me, being left-handed, a very rare instance as well, so having a couple, I think, is fine with me in this case. But yeah, sorry, that's it for real this time. Love you all. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.